Today, well, the next 24 hours, we do something a little bit different. Starting off in the darkness of the night, we take our Subarus and head into the darkness of the ghost wilderness. With our lights on, we hit the trail and go back into the trees, where we do a little bit of exploring before we return to one of our favorite campsites for the night. After waking up to an amazing view of the valley below, we pack up and head down to the riverbed, where we follow the river before hitting the end of the trail and making our way back up and out. Join us as we explore our backyard, the Canadian wilderness.
What is up and welcome back, everyone. Look at this. We're, you can't tell, but we're out by Transalta once again. And it's a little different this time. It's like 10 o'clock at night. Me and Adrian decided, why not go camping? Because Adrian, you're not gonna be able to see this, but his Crosstrek now has a tent on it, smart tent, actually the new version of mine. So it'd be cool to check that out. But he's leaving for work pretty soon, so we thought we might as well go camping. And well, tonight at about 10 was the only time that worked, so that's what we're doing. So we are at a Transalta, so we do know where we are, which is pretty nice. But it's definitely like late, as I said, pitch black, there's nothing. I'm using Adrian's ditch lights right now as my camera light, which is working out perfectly. We got the Hellas turned on the car. They're not as bright as Adrian's, but they actually provide a lot of light, which is great for going down these roads where there's absolutely no one. But yeah, Adrian's lights are a little bit brighter. Crosstrek's looking good, Forester's looking good, and I think we're gonna hit the trail and head down to the campsite.
After airing down the tires, we hit the trail and headed into the darkness. With my Hellas lighting the way and Adrian's lights in the ditch, we traveled along the road. Although, even after driving this road quite a bit this year, it almost felt new in the dark. With no mountains guiding our way, we could only see what our lights made visible. And eventually, we took a turn off the main road and headed deeper into the forest. It wasn't long before the trail got even worse with mud-filled ruts. After quick inspection, I took the Forester through first, trusting that my skid plates and increased ground clearance would protect me. And with no contact, both the cars pulled through the mud, leading us to our site just up the way.
Well, we made it to camp and took Adrian on a little bit of a detour through some trails, do a little bit of trail running at night, which is always fun. But the fun fact here is we're literally camping maybe 500 meters from the campsite we camped at in the spring testing out my diesel heater. It was actually right around the corner, 100 meters, but it's pretty cool. This place seems to be always kind of quiet compared to the rest of Ghost and Wiperous. So the next thing to do is to set up the tent in the dark, because well, we're doing everything in the dark, so it makes filming a little bit interesting. And well, there we go. We got my tent set up right there on the Forester, looking good as always. And then we got Adrian's Crosstrek with his tent all set up and looking good too. So we got the camp set up. We're actually in a really nice spot, kind of protected by the trees, where last time I camped here I was not. I was just wide open into the valley, so it's kind of a little more protected, which is good because it's a little windy right now actually, but Alberta, so what else is new? So I think next thing is to maybe start a fire for a little bit. It's so nice out. It's like almost midnight I think, and it's still like 10 degrees, which for September in Alberta is always a good thing. There we go, that's crackling.
And after settling in and starting the fire, we sat around it and enjoyed the oddly calm weather as the wind calmed down. And the sky cleared up, allowing us to see what little stars we could because of the moon. Furthermore, because of the moon, the area was completely lit up, allowing us to get the first glimpse of the mountains beyond the valley.
And there we go. It's been one of the calmest nights I probably have ever had camping. Even on the shoe shop where the wind died down, it just wasn't as calm as it was here. And it was still it's still warm. As you can see, I'm just wearing my sweater right now, where I was out here a week before, and it was so cold. Like, I had 3 coats on. So definitely some of the nicest camping weather, especially for the early fall season that we're in. But I think it's time to pretty much head to bed, because I think it's like 1:18, just because, well, we drove through the night to get here, or drove pretty much all in the dark to get here. So we definitely got here a little late, but that's always fun. It's always fun to have a little bit different of an adventure, because as I said, we actually camp 100 meters that way. But I think tomorrow, what you guys can look forward to is we're going to check out the tents, and we're going to do a little bit of a compare and check out Adrian's brand new tent on his Crosstrek. This is actually the first time he's camped with it, so we'll see how he likes it. And then we'll also head down, I think, because we're really close to the Transalta riverbed, which is where we went and took this Forester off-roading when it was pretty much stock in the winter. So we'll go down there. We can't actually go on the trail because it's a winter-only trail, but we can definitely go ahead and just go check out the riverbed before we head back to civilization. But I will see you guys in the morning. And good morning. So it's daylight out. We can actually see where we are now. And some of you might recognize it because we camped literally over there probably about 6 months ago, maybe almost a year ago actually, by the time this video ends up. But such a beautiful spot. We've got us just right on this ridge, and then as we go along here, mountains. We're literally looking right down this valley into the mountains, which is always just a wonderful sight to wake up to. But as you can tell, it's a little windy now because it's Alberta, and I feel like every time you take out a new tent or a new piece of kit, it just has to be windy. But this is Adrian's tent. Let's go ahead and just back up a little bit and we can take a look at the site. So there we go, we got mine and we got Adrian's tent in this wonderful camping spot. So we're gonna go ahead and explore that, but first I gotta eat some breakfast. So you guys know I have the kitchen sitting there, and I've got a nice little kitchen with an awesome view. So I'm gonna eat my food that's cooking, and then we'll take a look at the tents. And with breakfast done and the wind picking up, it's about time to go ahead and pack up because the wind is only getting worse. But first, let's go take a look at Adrian's tent. So Adrian's tent, as I said, is like the upgraded version of mine. So it's got a couple of really cool features, a couple that I think I'm gonna have to take. The first one being the storage underneath the bottom side of the tent. As you guys saw in the hail video, my car got hailed out. So I'm going to be doing some modifications there, and if I drill through that, I'm not too worried because it's, as I said, super hailed out. Some things that I can do to my tent that Adrian has is he has the white and black, which I really think looks clean on his car. And then also he has the bigger windows that kind of follow the lines a little bit more, and the condensation prevention on the poles, which is going to help a lot in winter camping because we're going to definitely be seeing Adrian in some of our winter camping adventures. So without further ado, let's go ahead and take down my tent and get ready to hit the trail.
Once the tents were packed up, we continued on the main road towards the riverbed. Now with daylight, we could see the view of the mountains that we drove towards yesterday before making the final descent down into the riverbed. Here, we drove through the rough and rocky riverbed, exploring the areas that we were familiar with in the winter, rediscovering them. Following the river, we headed west into the mountains, where we watched the sun rise just a few hours ago. Before coming to the river crossing, where we made the decision to turn around and make the trip back to the trailhead.
And well, there we go. We're at the end of the line because, well, it's now a creek and you really aren't supposed to be crossing creeks, especially in the summer. Winter, they have designated ones. In the summer, I believe they have to be marked. This one is not marked. Our government of Alberta map says it goes farther, but I just don't want to disturb this, so we're not going to push any farther. It's been an awesome trail anyways. Definitely comparing it to when we came out here in the winter and did the off-road trip in the winter where we actually did the river crossings. That was pretty cool to see it in the summer and just kind of compare and contrast. But this isn't a hard trail whatsoever. It's a fun little chill trail where you can go check out the mountains above us and just kind of cruise along this nice little riverside path. But anyways, as I said, this is the stopping point or the end point. So now essentially we're gonna go back down that way, head back up the hill, and then hit the gravel road and back into civilization.
After crossing back on the riverbed and climbing up the hill, we hit the main road. This time, with the sun out, we could pick up a bit of speed and put the Subarus to the test on the gravel road. Burning through kilometer after kilometer of mountain views till we got back to the all-familiar trailhead.
There we go, we have made it back to the trailhead. You guys are just starting to get familiar with this area, the trailhead here at Transalta, but we've just finished filling up Adrian's tires, and I'm borrowing Adrian's compressor because mine is pretty much dead and that tire's leaking, so yeah, we're just filling it up and then we're heading out. So what that means is this is the end of the video, so I hope you guys enjoyed that. We kind of had a plan, kind of did. We know we were going camping at night, and then we kind of just decided to go check out that trail later today. But Adrian's first time with the tent, so hey Adrian, how is your new tent? Good? Yes? It's good, sure. But yeah, and then it's nice to see that there is some new features, got some new ideas for the tent, so we might have to do those mods sooner than later on the Forester. But until next time, peace out and stay humble.